Hey, Jacob, we see you there. We're about to start right now.
Sounds good.
And if you wanted to put your Venmo in the chat, I'll be copying and pasting it into our live broadcast and our feeds.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go live here in 3, 2, 1. Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. It's the end of summer. It is now basically your favorite basic girls' time of year. It's pumpkin spice latte season, everybody. And for those of you who aren't getting drunk, right, we've got some good news. We've got a show with a whole bunch of other people who aren't getting drunk and high and anything else. They're sober comedians living a sober life. And they're going to give you some clean jokes. But their language probably isn't that fucking clean. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. But we've got a wonderful lineup for you today. We've got a comedian. You've seen him on TV. You've seen him everywhere. We've got Jacob Williams out of New York. We've got Stephen Douglas out of, I always want to mess this up, and I want to say it's, nope, I've got it right. It's Bangor, Maine. We've got Bill Lippincott out of Los Angeles, California. We've got Tony Viagra out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You've seen him on Doug Hope's podcast. Jesus. My mouth's not working. Doug Stanhope's podcast. And our host with the most, the lady that I couldn't do this without, the queen of our sober comedy. Give it up for your host tonight, Kim Cook.
Hello. I also look probably like the poster basic bitch for pumpkin spice. I know. So welcome to the third show of a Laughing Through Recovery. Comics on this show, as Dante said, may have cleaned up their lives, but not their acts. I'm excited to announce I have not had an adult beverage in over 13 years. Yes. Do you know how hard it was to quit Metamucil? Okay. Yes, I mean booze. Yeah. People always love to ask the question as to why I don't drink. Did you do it for health reasons? And I guess technically I did, considering I used to party it up in a way that might have Keith Richards say, you might have a bit of a drinking problem, love. Yeah, I definitely quit for health reasons. The hard thing about drinking is the strain that it put on all of my closest relationships, like my family, my friends, and all of the pizza delivery places in a 5-mile radius. Yeah, I would get drunk, order pizza, and then promptly pass out. Like, yes, I need a small pizza and a large man. Yeah. Are you a large man? And I need extra sausage on both. Yeah. And I like my pizza like I like my men. Hot, not too crusty. Bye. Yeah. The next morning, I would wake up to several voicemails like, Kim, it's Pizza Hut. We can hear you snoring. This is the third time this has happened this week. Yeah. I got banned from Pizza Hut, Domino's, and well, Papa John. He just stopped returning my calls. Yeah. I had to quit drinking because it was scary constantly finding myself in the middle of a real life Jerry Springer episode. Yeah. One day I was sitting in a guy's lap, making out, and your typical Monday at 11 a.m. Right. And I hadn't bothered to find out any details like his name or relationship status. And then from out of nowhere, this woman pops up and she's like, Ricky, who is this bitch? Ricky, why you always got to pull this shit when I'm pregnant with your baby? I was like, oh, his name is Ricky. Yeah. Relationship status, it's complicated. Then the woman grabbed a shoe, specifically a flip-flop that I was wearing, and proceeded to hit me with it. I don't think you're grasping the severity of the situation. I got bitch slapped by my own flip-flop. I got La Chancla. And I think it was that moment right there, that was my moment of clarity. Because one does not know true humility until they've been bitch slapped by their own flip flop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a direct quote from Confucius, or maybe it was Gandhi. Okay, probably Andy Cohen. Yeah, probably dealing with all those housewives, I would say Andy Cohen. But you know what term I hate for drinking? Day drinking. Yeah, because people always say it too, like they're being so naughty. Like Becky and I were doing a little day drinking. We were on the patio just enjoying some margs. And what is it about day drinking that people have to knowingly abbreviate the beverage name? Don't even get me started on Frosé all day. Yeah. I did a little day drinking. Nobody thought it was cute, especially my boss. Yeah. like, Kim, it's 10 a.m. Why do you smell like St. Patrick's Day? Yeah, I got fired a lot. But now that I'm sober and gainfully employed, my coworkers were devastated when they found out I don't drink. You know, I tried to be nonchalant about it. You know, at the first company outing, my boss offered me a drink. She's like, Kim, what can I get you? You know, beer, wine, both. And I said, no, thanks, Ashley. I'm good. And then she flat out asked me what alcoholic beverage I did drink. And I said, no, thanks, I'm sober. Yeah, I just happened to be wearing that shirt. But anyway, you think I would have told her I kicked puppies for sport? Yeah, I don't, by the way. She looked so bummed. But we also do a lot of team building exercises for work. And with my company, that means like pour as much alcohol down your gullet as possible. Yeah. And it's funny when we go to happy hour, there's always like that one mama bear who like points out the 0 proof drinks on the menu. She's like, Kim, look, you can have a mock mosa, a Virgin Mary, or cuddles on the beach. Like, yeah. And then there's that one person who's seen Sideways too many times. Yeah, you know the person I'm talking about, right? They're like, oh, they stick their nose in their glass of wine and they're like, oh, it has an earthy aroma with notes of spicy oak. And I'm like, take a seat, Karen. Yeah, you ordered white Zinfandel, okay? The only thing that you can smell is the aroma of cat pee and broken dreams. All right, guys, that is my portion. And are you guys ready for the rest of your show? It's coming to us all the way from Bangor, Maine. Please give it up for the very funny Stephen Douglas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is so good to be here tonight. So you ever find yourself in a situation where you say things that you don't really mean? Like I do this all the time, especially with my wife. And I feel bad when I do it. Like, for instance, she asked me a while ago, she goes, honey, does this dress make me look fat? And I meant to say, no, honey, you look fine. But what came out of my mouth was, no, the dress doesn't make you look fat. The fat around your waist makes you look fat. The dress is just a magnifying glass. That really accentuates it. Boy, that put me in the doghouse, you know. But I do things like that, not intentionally. It must have been all the weed and all the other drugs that I've done in my past. Because I got ADD and words fly out of my mouth before my brain even processes it. One time she asked me, she goes, honey, do my shoes look big? Do they look big on my feet? And I should have said, no, sweetheart, geisha girls would be so jealous of your small little feet. What I said was, yabba dabba do, Fred Flintstone. And that got me into trouble, you know? And I just don't get it. I don't mean to say these things. You know, we like to go out once in a while, and she's likes to put on makeup, but she's not really that good at it. So she went to put on the makeup. She comes out, she goes, honey, does this makeup look good? Now, I should have said, honey, a little touch up and you'll be fine. What I said was, what is a circus in town? Who are you, Laffy the Clown? Well, that put me in the doghouse. I mean, I'm in the doghouse so much. My dog kicked me out. He said, don't come here no more, okay? So my wife, you know, we have these funny, subtle ways we get back at each other, you know, when we have these little spats, you know. my biggest pet peeve with her is like when you make peanut butter and fluff and you mix the peanut butter in with the fluff, sometimes the fluff will turn into like little shards of sugar glass. So it's like eating a mouthful of porcupine quills, right? So that's my little pet peeve. So what I like to do to get back at my wife when she does that is I unscrew the light bulb in the bathroom at nighttime and I leave the seat up. So when she goes in and sit down, I hear a big splash and a scream. That's always funny to me. But she'll get back at me because what she likes to do, she likes to put Nair in my body wash. Now you're thinking, hey, smooth skin, right? You'll be fine. Well, it's good for the first couple days. But when that hair starts growing back in, it's like a dog with fleas for like weeks. It is insane. You know, that's a little on the cruel side. So to get a little cruelty back at her, what I like to do is put like real dark green food coloring in her body wash. Yeah, She-Hulk gets real mad at me when I do that. But it's always hilarious. She's such a kidder and a clown. You know, it's amazing some of the funny things that we do, and you know, the sexual tension sometimes can be up there. Like when we make love, it sounds like popcorn and bubble wrap fighting to see who's going to win. I miss that sound. You know, it's amazing. You know, there's all kinds of crazy things that go on in this world, and I'm always asking, you know, things like, why do they make this? What happens if this particular product doesn't work right or whatever? Here's an example. If the self-driving cars, right? Everyone's like talking big about those. They're going to be the next wave in automobiles and all that. So my question is, if I go out and I get drunk, let's just say I decided to, you know, get off the wagon and start popping the bottles again, and I get in a self-driving car and I get pulled over, am I going to get arrested for driving, or is the car going to get a ticket? You know, I don't know if that's you know, going to happen. I've always wondered that. So it's one of those crazy, funky things. But I think of weird stuff all the times. Like, you know, I wondered, you know, if the dog had cat's paws, you know, would it chase a mouse? You know, kind of crazy things like that. You know, it's a beautiful thing to have a crazy, wild mind, because you get to come on and talk to these wonderful comics that you hear on a daily basis. And thank God, 90% of you guys out there that I've heard recently are clean. I love it. Some people out there, they just think every F word and C word and B word out there will enhance their show. It doesn't. Not that I'm against it, because I have one that I could tell you real quick, but my time is dwindling down. Looks like I got about 8 seconds left. But the next time I get to see you guys, I'd love to be able to tell you some little riskier jokes. Thank you very much, Dante. I appreciate it. That's going to be my time.
All right, keep it going.
Yes.
Stephen Douglas. Oh. I thought I was on mute. Keep it going for Stephen Douglas. Stephen, do you have a bird?
I do.
Okay.
I have 2 birds. I'm sorry. They're in the other room. They still make noise.
They're in the other room fighting.
I know. Are they fighting at this moment?
No, I have a cockatiel and I have a conure, and the conure is constantly saying baby and hello and I love you, daddy. And my cockatiel is constantly whistling. Pop goes the weasel, the Andy Griffin theme. He clucks like a chicken, barks like a dog. So sometimes you'll hear weird noises like that in the background, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's my birds. I don't mean it, but I can't do nothing about it. I'm sorry.
Keep it going, everybody, for Stephen Douglas and his birds. All right. Woo!
Thank you.
Now we are going to travel to the other coast, the West Coast. Coming to us from Los Angeles, please give it up for Bill Lippincott.
All right. Thanks, Kim. And I know what you're thinking. I'm a cross between a guy who opens with, I'm a cross between a guy and a guy who opens with, I know what you're thinking. But most people look at me and think, alcoholic. And they would be correct. But I do actually remember my first meeting, even though I was wicked hungover and smelled like a bar rag. I don't know if about 50% of us can remember that meeting. But they were reading a certain passage there are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders. And I was in bad shape and sitting next to this scruffy looking guy who may not have had all of his teeth. And I thought they were staring right at me. There were those two who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders. Those two right there in the back row. But yeah, I'm sober. I have been for a little over 20 years.
Woo.
Thanks. But you know, like most of you, I've done a lot of damage and I broke a lot of hearts. I know, it's hard to believe, but I didn't always look like this. When I was young and out there, bless you, I had long, flowing, blonde hair. I kind of looked like Sean Cassidy. For those of you under 50, he's kind of like a Justin Bieber, but with less money and more hair. And for those of you over 60, that's kind of like a Bobby Sherman. But yeah, I wrecked a lot of cars. I wrecked a lot of relationships. But I never, ever, ever crapped my pants while I was drinking. Thank you. Thank you. Since I've been sober, on the other hand, well, see, in LA, there's this rule that once you've lived here for 15 years, you have to do one of those hippie namaste juice cleanses, if you're French. So I did. You know, my number was up. I did mine. I ended up doing the master cleanse. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's lemons and cayenne pepper and water and maple syrup, which sounds like it would go great with vodka, by the way. So I'm doing my cleanse, and that master cleanse, I mean, it goes right through you. Not to be too graphic, but it starts at the top and it doesn't stop. It goes right through you. It doesn't care if you're wearing pants or anything, all the way through. Again, not to get too graphic, but do you know when your dad in the 70s used to water the lawn with his thumb on the end of the hose? Kind of like that. Master cleanse. Okay. Now, luckily, there's some people in this room who are old enough to have partied with me. But to the young ones, I didn't party with you, but I probably partied with your moms. And most likely it was at a Lollapalooza concert where we were getting shit-faced out of our mind on Jack Daniels and Goldschlager and passed out behind the nipple-piercing booth. And I woke, excuse me, and I woke up with a Prince Albert piercing and a new child. Come to daddy, Kim. Come to daddy. That means you're the young one. And it's hard to believe, you guys, this is going to be a shocker for you, but I actually have some resentments. Huh? And a couple of those are at my dad. Mainly because I'm turning into him. I mean, I love the guy, but you never want to turn into your dad. For instance, whenever I get in the car, I make this noise. Ugh. And whenever I get up out of the car, I make this noise. Ugh. By the way, those are two different noises. And when I spice my food, and by spice in my family, my, you know, New Jersey middle-class waspy family, I mean salt and pepper. When I spiced my food, like Dad, he would hit his pepper like this. It was like this unbelievable detached thing. Like when you scratch a dog's tummy and his leg starts pounding on the ground like that, that's what his finger looked like. And I hated it. I hated it when I was a kid. So I would rebel against it. And I do it now, but I rebelled against it as a kid. And I would just like take my mom's Sears opaque pepper tumbler and just poof, and it would go poof all over my plate. Like a Civil War soldier cleaning his musket. You know, it's like, confound it, General. You done got black powder all over this chicken. But it tastes delicious. That's my Civil War impression. Too soon? But my dad isn't around anymore because he's dead. We got to make our amends, and it was great. But, you know, after we spread his ashes down the Jersey Shore, my mom wanted to save a little bit of him. And just like she saved a little bit of my sister and my uncle, I just want 2 fingers of your father. I just want 2 fingers of your father. Since when do we measure our loved ones' cremains the same way we measured our weed in the 70s? 2 fingers was a half ounce, if you remember correctly. Okay, so we have these ashes and those ashes and these ashes and 5 different ashes. When my mom dies, I'm going to have her ashes too. All of these are going to be willed to me. I'm the last one. And I don't know what to do with it. Well, if I bring the rest of the ashes down the shore and just let them go, then what do I do with the bag? I mean, the bag is still got some at the bottom of it, like the end of a Cheetos bag. That's still valuable stuff there, but you don't know exactly how to get it out, just like the Cheetos. Do you rinse it out with water? Then where do you pour that ashy water? It becomes holy water. Do you just burn the bag and then throw the remains in a garbage can at Seaside Heights? I don't think so. So I came up with this. I tap Dad's ashes out onto an ear of corn, and I ate him, and he was good. Now, I don't know if you guys have done any of that non-alcoholic beer. Some people think it's great. Some people think it's don't. Some people don't. The latter group is correct. There's no need. Why fake that shit? You know what? If you're not catching a buzz off of it, why do I want that taste? You know, like near beer. What am I going to do? Go out on a date and to a restaurant and say, I'll have a near beer, and the lady would like the near wine list. Oh, that's great. Afterwards, we'll do some shots of near Jaeger. Can you imagine that? Near Jaeger, that rotten cabbage and maple ashy, stinky thing, and not getting a quick buzz off of it. And then later we'll go back to her place and smoke some near joints, which would be oregano or the actual weed in the 70s, which was really barely weed compared to what's now. And after that, now that we're really near high, we'll have some near sex, which I guess would be dry humping. Although, if you're my college roommate, Tori, dry humping was complete sex because he always finished before he got his pants down. Never was an early dad, though. But you know, I do have to just keep it real for a minute here and let you guys know that I have some great shame, and I'd like to share with you about that now. I always thought that Jan was the hottest Brady. And if you're under 50, that means I also thought Phoebe was the hottest friend. And if you're over 60, that means I think that B. Arthur is the hottest Golden Girl. And she really is, drunk or sober. Thanks, guys. I'm Bill Lippincott. That's my time.
Oh, yes. He's talking about Jaeger. It makes me think I just call it Yacker Master. So, yeah, keep it going for Bill Lippincott, everybody. Woo!
Thanks, guys.
All right. Are you ready for your headliner of the evening? Direct from the Doug Stanhope podcast, The Gangster of Comedy. Give a warm welcome for Tony Viagra.
If I was a psychic and I knew that airplane was going to crash, I'd buy a round trip ticket for my ex-wife. I'm just fucking around. You can't say that. That's not right. You can't say that. I'd buy a one-way ticket. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I need to apologize for being just a little bit too cynical about my ex-wife, because she really is a good person. Yes, she is. She really is a good person. In fact, she feeds the homeless to lions at the zoo. You know, she's the kind of person who'd run in a crowded firehouse in your movie. My ex-wife is so fat, I got her hernia from trying to lift her spirits. It's important you know that I had a near-death experience. My marriage. I lost 200 pounds of cellulite. I got divorced. I'm glad she's gone. You know, she's very superstitious. She's a rabbit's foot. Her other foot's normal. I was looking for my soulmate. I wanted with a soulmate. I want a woman who is stable. She belongs in a stable. You know, I was looking, you know, I had a trophy bride. I did. She was a trophy bride. My wish is on the wall. next to the trophy moose.
Mhm.
You know, and she's on a special diet and she had all her meals delivered by a feed truck. And she ate out of a trough. I'm not saying she's fat, but she's 4 stomachs to choose her cud. I'm sleeping a lot better now. I had a lump on my mattress. My divorce lawyer got rid of the lump. And we were an ugly couple. Yes, we were. We were an ugly couple. We were very ugly. We're really fucking ugly. We're so ugly. We get the negative from wedding picture framed. And she's ugly too. When she goes to a beauty shop, she gets an estimate. You know. Yeah, and she wears her perfume smells worse than beer farts. She wears Chanel number 2. Smells like she made a number 2. And she's big into astrology. She's a feces. She was overweight, so she went to one of these diet doctors. He told her what she eats. Now she's in front of a mirror. You know, when we're married, we fuck twice a year, on the 4th of July and on Christmas Eve. In other words, it took either a revolution or the birth of God's son for me to get laid. And I wasn't getting action at home, so I dropped her a hint. I bought her a bag of laid potato chips. Laid potato chips. Laid fucking potato chips. She didn't think it was funny either. We used to do it dog style, but that got old. She'd keep barking, I'd give her a treat. And one night, my ex and I recorded ourselves fucking. Then we watched a video. And I got to tell you, we're really fucking stupid. First, they're the dumb, goofy faces. And that's before I got in bed. And then the screaming started when I wiped my cock on the curtain. And then she sat on my face and left a big fart. We were so embarrassed after that. We always fucking our clothes on. You know, I was trapped in a bad marriage. Yeah, trapped like rats. You know, nothing ever went right. I sent her to Cox's to get me a seersucker suit. She went to Sears and got me a cocksucker suit. You know? I learned one thing from that marriage. One thing, that she's nuts and I'm nuts. And 2 nuts don't make an almond joy. I'm excited to announce that recently I went on a blind date. Yes, I went on a blind date and we agreed we're going to meet outside. And when she saw me walking towards her, she started waving her arms around. I thought, wow, this is cool. She's kind of excited. And as I got closer, she kept waving her arms. Then she started dancing around and kept waving her arms and dancing and waving and dancing and waving and dancing and waving and dancing and waving. She's having an epileptic seizure.
No.
So I fucking be on the garbage truck in the parking lot. You know, have you ever noticed how the weather girl on TV is always kind of young, attractive, and high energy? Have you ever noticed that? Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed how the traffic lady on TV, she's not quite as attractive, not quite as young, and not quite as high energy as a traffic lady? Have you ever noticed that? I mean, it's the weather lady. Have you ever noticed that? Have you? Have you? It makes me wonder sometimes if it gets a little bit catty between the weather lady and the traffic lady. And sometimes I wonder, when I go to commercial break, maybe it sounds like this. Maybe a little bit like this. Hey, traffic bitch. No, traffic bitch. Gotta go play in traffic on the interstate. Hey, weather bitch. No, weather twat. Hey, weather twat. You don't start showing more cleavage and sucking more dick, or you're gonna fire your ass and bring you some hoe. And while we're at, have you ever noticed how people define themselves with cars? Have you ever noticed that? How people define themselves with cars. You notice that? A good example is when you see a guy driving down the street in a $70,000 Corvette. A $70,000 Corvette. That's a lot of fucking money to get your dick sucked. You know, I used to drive around town. A 1971 Oldsmobile Cutlass. It cost me $1,200. 1971 Olds Cutlass. I used to get my dick sucked. And it was better than a $70,000 Corvette. Why was it better? I'll tell you why it was better, because the inside dome light didn't work, which means I couldn't see the zit on her fat, ugly fucking face. And how about when you see a gorgeous, voluptuous blonde driving down the street in a $70,000 Corvette? What does that mean? It means it's a stolen car. And how about How about when you see a guy driving down the street in a Mini Cooper? Mini Cooper, what goes through your mind? Intellectual, socially concerned, environmentally concerned, douchebag. You know, people are worried that there's going to be an insurrection. And I'm worried that I'm going to have an erection. You know, at the point in my life where life gets hard are my arteries. I'm getting older now, so I was thinking about dyeing my hair. But my hair died before I could dye it. And then there's COVID-19. I'm sure you've heard COVID-19. And I'm trying to get COVID-19. I'm trying to get COVID-19. Yes, I am. Because at my age, I'll take anything. That's 19. And I can't wait for this pandemic to end. I can't wait for 10. So I can pick my nose. You know, there's a $1,400 stimulus check. People got a $1,400 stimulus check due to the pandemic. And I've been wondering, did prostitutes get a $1,400 stimulus check or just a check? They don't need stimulus. And then if things weren't bad enough, now there's 2 COVID-19s. One from China and one from Italy. So how do you tell the difference? Well, the one from Italy has an accent and talks with its hands, you know. And you know, this pandemic is so bad. This pandemic is so bad that now a person dies every minute from COVID-19. Yes, a person dies every minute from COVID-19. And it's the same person, you know. And the big thing now is social distancing. Social distancing. Everybody's doing social distancing. And I'm a little pro at social distancing because women have been keeping their distance for me for years, you know. And this pandemic has changed the whole world. It changed the whole world. A good example is I went to a Chinese restaurant last night for takeout. And now C19 is pandemic, no my fun. Of course, the biggest change has been the advent of Zoom video. Zoom video conferences. Everybody's on Zoom video. You know, I love Zoom video. Why do I love Zoom video? I'll tell you why. Because last week I went to church services via Zoom video. And what does that mean? It means I didn't have to spend 2 hours sitting behind that big fat lady having to smell rotten, stinking farts. I was watching TV last night and they had medical experts on talking about COVID-19, and they said a person has a far better chance of survival if they contract HIV rather than COVID-19 because there's long-term effective treatments for HIV rather than for COVID-19. So what are they saying? What the fuck are they saying? Sound like they're saying it's safer to have anal sex with an AIDS patient than let some old fart cough on you. You know, this pandemic has hit the economy really hard, really hard. You know, people need jobs. People need good paying jobs. People are looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job. My dog's job. So I don't step in it. And now the CDC recommends effective hand washing to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And experts recommend singing happy birthday while you wash your hands to ensure that you wash your hands long enough. So I've been wondering if I'm supposed to sing happy birthday while I wash my hands, what am I supposed to do when I wipe myself? Stand up and sing the national anthem? And, you know, our town is so poor. Our town is so poor. It's so poor, we can only get COVID-18, you know? And there's big news on the vaccine. Big news on the vaccine. Yes, they brought out a vaccine just for the hood. That's a vaccine just for the hood. It's manufactured by Johnson & Johnson. You know, it's 35% less effective than Pfizer and Moderna. So they sent it to the hood. And my social life, you know, this pandemic killed my social life. It really did. My social life is dead. It's really fucking dead. Oh yeah, it's dead. You know, the only time I hang out is when I take a shower. You know? And I think it's so cool. It's so cool, you know, things change. It's so cool that since the pandemic, it's so cool that now it's socially acceptable for football players to show their concern for social justice by taking a knee. I wish my girlfriend had taken a knee. Both knees. You know, welcome to Suitman Productions, where we present family-friendly comedy, suitable for the entire family. Has anyone here ever eaten rotten cunt? Can I see a show of hands, rotten cunt? Rotten cunt going once? Rotten cunt going twice? Look, there's no shame in eating pussy. Eating pussy is patriotic. Why, this country has a long history of patriots eating pussy. Why, every schoolboy knows why George Washington had wooden teeth. His teeth rotted out from eating a march of stinky pussy. And Abe Lincoln, honest Abe Lincoln, you know, he always wore a stovepipe hat. not because it was a style, but it was to hide a big lump on his head that he got from his old lady's pussy. And then there's FDR, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He led the country through World War II, and as you know, he was confined to a wheelchair. His son was from polio. What really happened was he was eating Eleanor's pussy and he contracted something, went right to his spine and paralyzed him. They said it was polio. Because in the 1930s, they couldn't say, he was eating pussy. And then there's Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr., one of the greatest entertainers of all time. And poor Sammy got throat cancer. His son was from smoking. Poor Sammy got throat cancer from eating Rayford's pussy. And then there's Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis, one of the greatest comedians of all time. And you probably remember his movies from the 1960s. You know, remember Jerry? Hey lady, Renoyman. Anybody remember that shit? Anyways, towards the end, Jerry's head got as big as a balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And they said it was from steroids. What really happened, he's eating all his pussy and his head exploded. You know, sex is crazy. Sex is really fucking crazy. Yes, it is. Sex is crazy. I don't understand sex. I don't understand it. All I know is before I get my rocks off, I feel like eating ice cream out of her pussy. After I get my rocks off, I feel like taking a dump in it. You know, I learned a long time ago in graduate school that it's very beneficial to use music to explain very complicated concepts. So here it goes, folks, before I get my rocks off. I want to be with the cinnamon girl. I will be happy the rest of my life with the cinnamon girl. And after I get my rocks off, there it goes. You can have her, I don't want her. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. She's too fat for me. I hope that helps your understanding of a very difficult concept. And you know, folks, before I get going here, let's go over the Superman production ground rules. It's BYOB. Bring your own bag. Like if your woman's really fucking ugly, put a bag on her head. Give us all a break. And it's BYOL. Bring your own Limburger cheese. Look, if you get pissed off here tonight in your fucking home, put a block of Limburger cheese under your chair, because I guarantee in the morning, your whole place will stink like shit, and you won't know why. You know, it's important you know a little bit about me. You know, I had a normal childhood. I was breastfed until I was 17. I'm an ex-con. Yes, I'm an ex-con. I served 3 to 6 for ripping the tag off a pillow. You know, there's a rumor going around town, it better stop. Yes, there's a rumor going around town, it better stop. Somebody's spreading a rumor around that Nicki Minaj and Cardi B were fighting over me. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B wish they're fighting over me, but only a gangster bitch can hang with me. Because I need a gangster bitch. 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 But I'll settle for a snowy old skank. And you know, I'm a people person. Listen, I'm a people person. I want people to need me. I need people to need me. Because in the immortal words of Miss Barbara Streisand, people who need people are a big pain in the ass. You know, I need a new doctor. I went to my doctor, Dr. Lippincott, and I said, hey, doc, everything that goes right through me. I can't digest anything. He said, I have the perfect cure for you. He prescribed marijuana suppositors. So every time I fart, it smells like something in my pants smoking a joint. I went to my eye doctor. Because I couldn't see. He told me I have glaucoma. I put me on medical marijuana. I still can't see. But now when they fall down the steps, I laugh a lot. I went to my urologist because I couldn't depend on my depends. My urologist said, you need Cialis. And I said, I need Cialis? Did you see Alice? Did you see Alice? Did you see Alice? Has anyone seen Fat Ugly Alice? Paging Fat Ugly Alice. Paging Fat Ugly Alice. Paging my ex-wife. She's fat and ugly too. Then my urologist said, what color is your urine? I said, what does that matter? He said, well, if it's bright yellow, I need a sample. I said, why? He said, I can make an after dinner ring for my mother-in-law. Then I said, hey, doc. Hey, doc. My balls always itch. And he said, scratch them. Now, folks, this is very embarrassing. So let's just keep it among the several hundred of us viewing this on Superman Productions, because it's very embarrassing. If word gets out, I'll be very embarrassed and become very depressed. I went to my psychiatrist because I get intimidated, afraid, and scared when I meet an attractive lady who I'm interested in? You know, fear of rejection. So my psychiatrist said, when you meet an attractive lady who you're interested in, you must visualize her sitting on the toilet and leaving loud farts. Then you won't be intimidated and you'll be able to pursue a relationship with that lady. Great advice. Anyways, so there goes the bow tie. There goes my personality. So, anyways, so then I met an attractive lady who I was interested in, but I couldn't visualize her sitting on the toilet, leaving loud farts. And I had a brainstorm. My shoes got wet. I had a brainstorm. I went to sit in the ladies' room, and then I waited a while. Then I went in the ladies' room, and I slowly pushed open each stall door until finally I pushed open her stall door. There she was, in all her splendor, sitting on the toilet, leaving loud farts. Then I could visualize. Yes! My criminal hearing is October 20th. You know, folks, there's hope at work last Monday. Yes, last Monday there was hope at work because somebody left the back door of the building propped open all weekend. When they came in Monday morning, they found squatters in the ladies' room. I sneezed the other day and someone said, bless you. And I said, thank you. I started wondering, what happens when an atheist sneezes and someone says, bless you? Do they say, thank you, or fuck off, asshole? I'm having a crazy day today, very crazy. I was standing in the grocery store today. A lady walked right up to me and she said, do you believe in love at first sight? Before I can answer, I realized she had a glass eye. And I was leaving work on Friday. The guy stopped me and said, hey, if I don't see you, have a good weekend. And I said, what if you do see me? Treat, shit, and croak? And then, I'm thinking about joining a church because I need a church family. Like I need a second hole up my ass. I'm thinking of joining one of these mega churches. Everybody's talking to mega churches. Mega churches are popping up everywhere. So I went to visit a mega church and everyone there was born again. So I asked my mom. She said once was enough. When I went to the mega church, there's a young hip pastor greeting everyone at the door. And the young hip pastor is wearing a t-shirt. The t-shirt says, all in. All in. What the fuck is all in? Probably some kind of code for Satan. If I was a young hip pastor at that church, I'd be wearing a t-shirt too. Except my t-shirt would say, suck my dick. And that's code for suck my dick. I'm trying to figure out why are these mega churches so popular? Is it because of the live Christian rock music or the coffee bar? Or is it because they don't have priests running around trying to fuck kids in their ass? How am I doing my time there, sir? Hello? Are we still on? How am I doing my time?
You just hit the light. Sorry, I'm on mute.
Okay. So time for Tony to wrap it up. I had a crazy dream last night. I had a really crazy dream. Just really fucking. I took those Beyonce's tampon. It was real loud and real dark. It stunk like piss. It was a neat way to get into a concert for free. People may wonder, why does Tony Viagra act the way he does? Why does Tony Viagra say the things he says? Why is Tony Viagra a gangster? Well, it goes back to when little Tony Viagra was in second grade and was practicing for the second grade Christmas play and rehearsing Christmas carols. But one day, little Tony's teacher, Mrs. Moran, called little Tony aside. She said, Tony, when we sing Christmas carols, you just move your lips, but don't sing. Just move your lips, but don't sing. So we had a Christmas play and I sang Christmas carols and I moved my lips, but I didn't sing. So that's 100 fucking years ago. So who cares, right? Nobody cares. But I just found out not that long ago that Mrs. Moran died. Mrs. Moran is dead. And I will not talk about the dead because I have too much class to talk about dead. It's not right. And I won't do it. So I'm not going to tell you what a fat old bastard Mrs. Moran was because I won't talk about the dead. It's not right. And I won't do it. I'm not going to tell you what a stinking old bastard she was because I will not talk about the dead. It's not right. Plus, Superman Productions will not permit me to talk about that, so I can't do it. So what I'm going to do for you tonight, right here, right now, just for you, tonight, get ready. I'm going to do for you tonight, I'm going to sing a Christmas carol just for you, right here tonight, so get ready, here it goes. I'm Tony Viagra. Thank you.
All right. Keep it going for Tony Viagra and give it up for all the comedians you've seen this evening. So we had Jacob Williams, Stephen Douglas, Bill Lippincott, and Tony Viagra. And tune in next Saturday night for another Suitman Productions. The show is called Raw at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern. You guys have been great and have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All
Good night.
right.
Great job,
Bye.
everybody. Have a good night. I'll have this up on YouTube and everything else tonight.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Tony.
Bye.